Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to the Circular Economy Hackathon 2023, where we're focusing on the webinars and the innovation sprints. I'd like to welcome all of you that are tuning in on different platforms. Please do make sure you guys are following us on our social media platform. You can catch us on Facebook at Invelisi Entrepreneurs. We're also on Instagram at invelisi.africa. You can also catch us on X at Invelisi. We're also at LinkedIn at Invelisi Entrepreneurs. Woo! Now, this is just a build-up to what's about to happen tomorrow, which is the 1st till the 3rd of December, looking at the Circular Economy Hackathon. Now, obviously, please don't forget to hashtag SBF 2023, also hashtag CEHack 2023, which is our Circular Economy Hackathon. Now, the Circular Economy Hackathon is an immersive and collaborative event aimed at harnessing the collective creativity of participants to address pressing challenges in sustainable resource management. Now, teams will converge to ideate and develop innovative solutions that promote circularity, waste reduction, and responsible use for resources within diverse industries. Now, from reimagining products lifecycle to devising systems for repurposing recycled materials, the hackathon encourages interdisciplinary collaboration, inviting entrepreneurs, designers, engineers, and as well as sustainability enthusiasts to co-create transformative initiatives that align with the principles of the circular economy. Now, through this dynamic event, participants will not only showcase their problem-solving skills, but also contribute to a more sustainable, resilient future. Now, I know that for sure that the registration is still open, so please do make sure you guys are registering. You can go to //cehack2023.gklink.co/. Now, the theme for this year's hackathon is Pathways to Circular Futures. Now, at the Circular Economy Hackathon, there will be a specialized track that challenges participants to envision and prototype innovative strategies leading to a more sustainable circular futures. Now, this segment of the hackathon emphasizes the development of a comprehensive approaches and systematic solutions across various industries, encouraging participants to think beyond the individual products or processes. Whether exploring circular design principles, waste reduction strategies, or advocating for policy changes, the goal is to foster a holistic understanding of how diverse pathways can converge to shape a circular economy. Now, the participants will have the opportunity to collaborate, to ideate, and also to showcase their ideas that pave the way for futures where resources are optimized, waste is minimized, and industries operate in harmony for the principles of sustainability and circularity. Now, through this track, the Circular Economy Hackathon aims to inspire actionable insights and contribute to a broader, more global transition towards a circular and regenerative practices. And today, obviously, we're looking at the masterclasses where we'll be joined by Michel Nguveni, the CEO of Geek Culture, where we'll be looking into design thinking and business cases. And we're also joined by Brother Sent, the brand and software consultant for EECD IT technology. Now, first and foremost, if we look at design thinking, right? Design thinking is a human-centered problem-solving approach that emphasizes empathy, ideation, and iteration. Now, rooted in the understanding the needs of the perspectives of the user end, it involves collaborative and iterative processes where designers, stakeholders, and the user end work together to identify challenges, generate creative solutions, and also redefine ideas through continuous feedback. Now, the importance of design thinking lies in its ability to foster innovation and address complex problems by prioritizing user experience needs. Now, by encouraging the mindset that values expectations, irritation, and feedback or user feedback, design thinking not only results in a more effective and user-friendly solution, but also cultivates a sense of creativity, adaptability within organizations, promoting a holistic, human-centric approach to problem solving. All right, so I'm about to call on Brother Sent to the fore. Brother Sent, how are you, sir? Hey, Brother Sent, I know you are muted. You are muted. I think at the bottom there's a mute and an unmute. Yes. How are you, brother man?
I'm here. Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, man.
I'm good.
Look, first of all, how do I say your last name?
Chibi Awubi.
Chibi Awubi.
Yes. Yes. That's how you say it. Chibi Awubi. Remove H. Remove VH. Remove VH with and by B everywhere.
But okay, my man, brother man, look, man, thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful platform. Listen, hey, man, you are confusing me, brother man. Look, before we go into the masterclass, obviously we're zoning in on what's about to happen this Friday, till Sunday, right? Looking at the circular economy hackathon. But before we get into that, what goes into your mind, right, when you hear about a 30 days business festival?
What goes into my mind is opportunities. That's the first thing. The second thing is connection. There is a saying that says your network, it's your net worth. So you keep what you try to reach out. So if you try to source out things from the other side, when you bring them in one places, then they become a good bond. So if you already know that I do brand and software consultations. If someone is looking for branding, who do you think about first? It's me, obviously. If I'm looking for someone to MC my gigs or someone's gig, I know you're going to kill it like you always do. So so that's what is in my mind when I think about events like this. And I think it gives opportunities to those that think they don't have opportunities, and then it also pushes their voices. It makes them to be able to speak for themselves, not only by verbalizing it, but also actions.
I like that.
So
I like that.
That's all I think.
Obviously, man, like when we speak about the power of a community, right? When we look at what networking really means and collaboration, partnerships, this is what it stands for. If we can have all these four sectors come into one space and begin to look at knowledge exchange, right? Where we're sharing you as a brand software, you begin to really tell us the challenges and opportunities that lie within your sector, and you begin to, highlight the critical importance that this ecosystem is really looking at. And I know for sure that a lot of people are learning. I'm also learning, man. As much as I conversate with many speakers that come on the platform, this is an opportunity for me to be enriched and to be empowered, in so many different ways. So first and foremost, thank you, brother man, for really being part of this journey, for really being part of the session. But without any further ado, bro, I'm going to let you take care, and we're going to be looking to the masterclasses, looking at business showcases and design thinking. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right, brother.
So I'll be my key focus will be design thinking, and design thinking process.
All right, cool, brother man. Do you have a presentation?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You know how to share?
Do I know? I don't know. I'll try.
All right, cool. I'll try. So I think obviously there's present down there. You can see present. Yeah. So by settings, there you go. Yes, there you go. We can see a screen.
Yes.
All right. The floor is yours.
Is everybody here?
We're here.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We're here. We can see your screen, yeah?
Okay. If everybody's here. Also, I would like to start from where you were talking about, where the previous speaker was talking about what is design thinking and how does it go, and what are the actual processes that follows into design thinking. But to break down everything, I would like to always, I always use examples of when we were young, right? So when we were young, we used to play games, play with marbles, toys, it's either guns, cars. Then you are able to see what your friends can be able to do, which type of a toy that your friend is looking for, what type of a toy do you like the most, and then you combine different toys and you use all of them together. If you love a gun, then you play as a soldier and also play as policeman, And if I like cars, then I want to be the best racer ever, obviously. Then those are the things that I first look at when I'm looking at design thinking. But now let's get deep into it. What is design thinking in software development? So it's like a computer program by understanding what a user needs, their ideas, testing those ideas, and improving the program based on the user's feedback until it is right. So I don't know if you understand the part where it says that until it is right. So that part, it actually entailing that it's a process that goes forward by step. We'll get into those steps, right? So it goes forward into step by step, but it can also be repeated depending on if it satisfies the user or the client and the client's user. So when you're developing a project, or you have a concept, you don't only have to think about the first person at hand, you also have to think about the next person who's going to be able to use, who's going to use the software, who's going to use the application that you are developing. And then after that you do the test, and then that person who is that person has to be the person that is doing the test and give feedback to you. And from that feedback is then that you know, this is how we can improve, this is where we're lacking, and then this is how we can make our product dependable, accessible, and available and secure for these people that we are creating this solution to, right? So I think I defined what is design thinking. So I made an example that you have to think about creating a game for a friend based on what they like, dislike, find useful and valuable to them, then create a minimal viable product. For an example, I mentioned a toy, right? And give that toy to a friend or to the person that you're creating that toy for, and then see how they're using that toy. If they like the toy, you see from their reaction, obviously, you see from their smile, you see from however they react. So you'll be able to see, oh, they don't like this part. Oh, they like this part about this. And then you also have a conversation about it. What do you think about the toy? And then, okay, what do you think about the toy? What do you think could be changed? What is it that you want to be in part of the toy that, if this part is here, can be able to help the next person, or can be able to help you have a full product that you are imagining in your head. What goes into your mind when you're thinking about this toy? Obviously, the user, who's your friend in this example, will be able to tell you, okay, I like this and this and this about the toy, but I feel like you should have added this button that does this and this and that. And then from there, you'll be able to know, okay, I'm going to add this, and also sit down, also think, is this the thing that a client is saying, that a client or a user is saying that it's needed, actually a need? Does it solve a problem for me? Does it solve the problem for him and other people? What about the community in large? So I think by that, I define what is design thinking. I hope you guys understand a bit about it from today. So I decided to put down the processes that goes into design thinking processes. Also, the processes are emphasis, which means understanding. So you have to learn about the problem and the people it affects. So what kind of a problem are you dealing with? And then, is it actually the problem to the larger group, or is it a problem to you? Like, is your problem actually a problem? And if it's a problem to you, is it a problem that affects the whole community? Is the problem that you have at hand the problem that can solve, the solution that comes after that, can it solve the problem not only for one person, but for a larger group? If you solve that problem, does it actually solve the problem, or it creates more problems? So this is emphasis. It's like you trying to break down the concept, you're trying to break down the problem statement. Let's say, for an example, you have a concept. Let's say our concept it's agricultural monitoring system, and then this system monitor if the the trees that you plow are actually being getting the water and the heat that is supposed to get. So now you need to look at it like, okay, fine, why am I doing this? And then who am I doing this for? Does it actually affect these people? Does it actually solve the bigger problem? And then from there, after you answer those questions, then you get deep down to understand, to define the whole process, like the whole concept. So you clearly figure out and understand the specific problem that you want to solve. So you break it down into pieces. What is it that I'm solving? Where am I solving it for? Why am I solving this? What period does this go to? What is the time frame for this project? What does it do for me? What does it do for me? What does it do to the larger market or the whole community or the people that I'm trying to solve this problem for? Like, so you break down the concept into pieces until it makes my name sense, right? So once you break down the concept into pieces, then you get to another stage, which is to ideate. Ideation, it's not really a deep concept. I try to put this into easy steps, because ideating is simple like imagination. So you come up with a lot of creative ideas to solve the problem, right? So when you come up with a lot of those ideas to actually solve that problem, you now know, okay, if I approach this idea from this point of view, I now know I'm solving it. If I approach it this way, I'm solving it for me. But if I approach it this way, I'm solving for who and who and who. And then this is how I can solve it. That's you in mind, right? That's you trying to put down everything. And then it's in that stage, then you can be able to create a prototype. When you create a prototype, it's like you're trying to make a simple vision of your own idea, or taking out whatever that you have in your mind and put it into a piece of paper, a piece of art. In this sense, when we're developing softwares, most of us use a platform that we call Figma. You can use Adobe XD. You can use a lot of them. There are a lot of them. But myself, I prefer Figma. So I use Figma to actually put down the whole design concept. I put it down to a point where after I'm done designing, I then can give it to someone, and that person can look at it. That person can see if it's functional, if it actually they can depend on it, if it's useful, does it have the information they're looking for, does it solve their actual problem, what is it that it's missing. And then from there, it's like we get to the last stage, testing. People will give you feedback if you go to them. So, and testing, it's where you listen to what people think about your idea and make even better based on their thoughts. And then from there, you can build different case studies around that concept. And then when you're doing that case studies, it's like you over breaking down the project into small pieces. When you break it down into small pieces, like trying to make it engage with the larger market or engage with people in large, then you can be able to have a stable feedback that you now know, okay, this is what we need on our software, this is what we don't need, and then this is how we can protect this software, and then this is how we can actually monetize this software, and then this is how we can actually attract all our users to be happy with our products. For an example, Facebook uses that a lot on us. So now, like, let me say Meta in group. Now they introduce something on our WhatsApp where you can just wake up and see a blog there, someone just telling stories that you didn't even ask them, right? So I believe that most of you guys are like me and you don't really like that. You're like, okay, where do I report this? Where do I say this? But to them, what they're doing is they're trying to test the market by you, but they will see from your response. Do you guys go to that product? Do you guys read the information that is there? Because I love things, I go read, right? So do you guys read? Do you guys engage with those pages that are there? If it's then, and if that proves that you guys do, then they can put it in a market in a larger scale for you guys. But if you guys don't like it, maybe let's hope that in the future they'll remove it because I don't like it too. Yeah, so this is the repetitive stage that we're talking about, because it's the whole process from understanding the whole concept and then defining the concept, then like coming up with different ideas to actually make your concept a concrete solution. And then from there, you actually, it's like you're putting a seed somewhere, and now you want to start seeing your tree grow and all that. And then just like that, then you add from your idea, you take another piece. Now, a great example is like you're trying to build something. Then when you're building something, you put one brick there and see if it goes to the certain line that you want it to go. If it's not going the right way, then you demolish everything and then you start afresh. That's why it's like a cycle. So that's why it's really like a circle. So this circle goes in interaction, right? So in this interaction, I try putting some small information where you can see that like emphasize, it goes with defining the problem that you have or the concept that you have, right? And then defining goes with ideating. And then ideating, it goes with prototyping, and prototyping goes with testing. So after this, it goes back here. So when it gets back here, it's like, so when we get back here, what do we say? It's, does our product align with what the people are looking for? What is it that everyone is looking for in the market? What is the response from the people that are out there? What is it that everyone is looking for? What is it that in fact, this time around, it's not why do I think it's important? Why do they think this is important to them? And why do they think I need to change that to a certain element? So the whole design thinking process, it's a build-up block to help us come up with a full product that is functional, that is beautiful. I actually, now that I mentioned functionality, every product that you want to do, you must make sure that you start with functionalities when you're building it. So that you already know that your product is not only beauty without brains, right? Because you can design something that is beautiful, but it doesn't actually do anything. Does it solve my problem? No. If it doesn't solve my problem, then why do we do it for? Yeah. So I don't know if we can make an example with a certain product. Okay. So an example with a certain product. I don't know if we can make an example with okay, let's say for an example, right? You have a friend, and you want to create a platform that your friend can be able to use to solve their problem. And then the problem that they actually have is so we are friends, right? Obviously, different friends of us work in different departments, whatever that they do. Then your friend will come to you, like my friends, they'll come to me and be like, okay, fine, dude, yo, at work every day, I've got one who's a salesperson. So he'll come to me like, yo, every day I go out, go to talk to people. And then after that, I have to put down the information about these people, and then I write them in paper, then they can take it to spreadsheet. And then from the spreadsheet is then that they will know that, okay, I've worked with these people and all that. And then, so it's a process and it takes time, right? So in my mind, I always have this idea, guys, why can't you guys find or also develop your own product where you can do data capturing? Let's say, for an example, you're going out in the street, you're going to am I talking fast? Okay. Let's say you're going out in the street, right? You're going to you're going to do your sales, because there are those people that go out in the street, do sales there. So, and then they go to, let's say you're going to a street, and then you're trying to find people that you're trying to sell the product. These think that their product fits. Say, for an example, these people work at gym, so they recruit people to go to gym and then want to make them fit. So they approach people like us, So when these people go out there, right? So obviously they will have to communicate with different people. And then you find that, okay, other people they're trying to communicate with, they'll say, no, I don't have my phone with me, so I would have given you my number. I don't have my what. Or other people be like, no, I understand your thing, but I don't think we need to communicate further. And other people be like, no, okay, fine, I'm in. But they don't actually have the actual proof, other than them actually going back to the office, try to call the person again and again. And it doesn't show if they've actually worked, right? But now, what if you build up a system that, or think of building up a system that a person in an office space and a person who's going out to do sales. I did an example with a fitness club. For an example, let's say Vision Active, it's popular. So let's say, for an example, someone who works at Vision Active, now they're going out to actually do the selling in the street or wherever they decided to say, today, I want to try to reach my target out there. And then when they get there, they find people that are not willing to give them the numbers and all that. But what if you build a system? It's a simple system. It's a data capturing system. How does it capture? So what happens is, so you ask this person that, okay, fine, I just want to have a conversation with you about fitness and all that. And in order for me to prove that you actually, I had conversation with people, you don't even have to join the gym, obviously, if you don't want, but for me to showcase that I actually interacted with people out there. What I need to show is that I need to show I need to show the proof that I interacted with people. So when we talking about this, when I'm teaching you about what is fitness, what does it do, what does it help you with, how does it help you, all those type of stuff that they ask you, right? And now you have to be inputting your data there, and then now you can be able to see, like when they input their data, they're putting in their name, their surname, their cell number, their email if they want, right? But not their ID. But if they want their ID, make everything seems to be voluntary. So if they want to do it, now if they put their numbers there, if they put their name there, numbers there, now you already have the information. Now you can be able to Even if it's another person in the office, can try to call them because they already have the lead in the system. So you created a system for capturing data of the future leads, where you guys can be able to pinpoint that, okay, we have leads that we can now call people. Today we met, yesterday we met 10 people, but today we don't have to go to the street. At least let's try to call these people. Like, hey, do you remember me? I'm Tavo. I did this and this and this and this. We were talking about this and this and this and this. Today, I want to talk about this and that and that and that. You see? So it's a system that actually helps you keep the data also for future users. So it's just me thinking about it, but we can go deep into understanding what is it. Does it actually solve a problem for larger market? Does it solve only a problem for James? Does it solve the problem for people that are poultry farm? Does it solve problems in people who what is it? Let's say we're selling tablets, we're selling, let's say, gadgets. Does it actually solve problem for a larger market or a larger group? You know, that's what I'm thinking. So I think with this a little bit of information that we have, I think we can go deep into questioning if you guys have some sort of questions before I could wrap it up for you guys.
All right, Brother Sense, man, thank you so much for that presentation. First and foremost, how did that feel for you, bro? How did that go?
Yo, I just, I feel, yeah.
How did that go, man?
I feel like I still want to give more, but my time is not allowing, you know. But it's so beautiful to remember that I'm trying to teach the younger me the information that I've learned some years ago, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I find it beautiful and fascinating to actually give out.
Yeah, I like that, man. Obviously, you know, for me listening to, you know, your presentation on design thinking and looking at the process, right? It has to do with a whole lot of you know, analysis and research. And obviously, I think one thing that I can really stress on is if we look at so many early stage entrepreneurs, right? I think, you know, a lot of their excitement is really just putting this business idea out in the market, but they don't do a whole lot of you know, analysis and researching. How important is it, man? You know, this is just a broad question. How important is it, you know, for one to really understand the market that they're tapping into, but not just the market, but also the environment that they're going into, or the industry that they're going into? How important is it for one to understand this process that you have taken us through?
So if we're talking about these processes, let's future proof it, right? We're looking at sustainability first. So if we have to look at that, we have to look at sustainability, right? So we put sustainability as our goal, and then from there we come back and understand who's our target market, right? Who's our target, and then how vast is the market out there? How is it open for me and for other businesses? And then what is it that I'm willing to do differently that the other people are in there are already doing? And what is it that I know I have that anyone who's there doesn't have it? So if we understand that, you already know that who's your competitor. You already know ways on how do you sell your messages, like brand messaging. How do you tell your stories out there to the people? And then you also understand, if you understand the people in the market who are selling the same thing that you are selling, you have to also understand, why do you think it's important for you to still sell something that everybody has already started selling?
Yeah.
What is that one unique thing that you put in? Like for an
Yeah.
example, if we make an example by ourselves, right? So back in the days when we started this, everybody would just come to us like, okay, I'm looking for a logo, right? So I'd be
Yeah.
like, a logo, come here, I can do a logo, I do a logo, and then it's done, it's chai. But my question these days is, why do you think you need a logo? Then they put down
Mm.
the information. I need a logo to showcase on my social media, to put on my website, on my letterhead. Why do you like? What is it that this logo is going to solve in your business? Okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna make us look professional. Okay, how does you guys looking professional actually makes you? What do you benefit from that? What is the value in that? Okay, fine, we attract clients. Okay, you attract clients, and then what? Okay, we convert clients into our market. How do you do that? How are you planning to do that? So it's more like you're breaking down values. And then if you actually understand the broader questions of all that, is then now you understand how to sell any products that you're trying to sell. Like,
Mm.
so you can't just design. And I think I didn't mention another thing. It's design thinking processes. It's not only focused on software development. It's
Yeah.
actually in every industry. If you're selling
Facts.
tomatoes, you have to actually think about it, have a blueprint about how you're going to sell your tomatoes. Are you going to package them like this? Are you going to do it like, like how are you
Yeah.
actually going to try to sell those products to the larger market? And then how are you planning to sustain yourself from that? How much amount of money do you like, what is your growth, and then what is your net, and then what do you make out of it? And then
Hey.
that's the whole point of doing the whole design thinking process, because you understand dependability and you understand the resources that you have to have. You
Yeah.
understand how people access you and access the needs. So yeah.
Brother Sins, I like how you can take a simple question and turn it into a thesis. Look, one of the most amazing things that you said is target audience, right? Whatever that we're creating, whatever it is that we're doing, we're not doing it for nothing, right? We're doing it for people, right? We are people driven. But now, if we can zone in and look into the user empathy that we speak about, right? How does now design thinking, when it comes to emphasis on the empathy, contribute to the understanding and meeting the needs of your target audience?
One of the wise men once told me that when you're done designing something, get behind the laptop and look through the wall, and then you look at the design. So and he didn't explain to me what does that mean, but
Is that
in
Mr. T?
later 2 years, no. So later,
Is that Brother
um
Mitchell?
later on, no.
Okay,
So
sorry,
it's
man.
another man called it's a man called Kuliso Mubango Excellent. So he once asked me that I should look at it from not me and not from my client, from my client's point of view, from my client's client point of view. So also, I'm trying to answer like how does I like emphasizing actually help all of us, right? Help the
Yeah,
person
empathy.
who's
Yeah,
actually trying to solve a problem for someone, right?
yeah.
So it makes you to not focus on your own emotions and rob yourself, right? Because everyone want to feel pity for themselves, like, I did it, I'm good, right? But who are you actually doing it for? Can
Mm.
does it solve the problem for the person that you're trying to solve for? Does it address the problem in larger scale? Another thing is it safe for another person to use it? How secured is it for the other
Mm.
person? How harmful is it for the other person? And then if it's harmful, how are you planning to solve that? How does it impact the whole market and everyone out there?
Mm. All right, Brother Sense, thank you so much, man, for really taking this time to be part of us in this build-up to the hackathon. Now, this is the Circular Economy Hackathon, looking at the webinars and the innovation sprints. We're not done. We're going to be taking a quick short break, and when we come back, we'll be with Mr. Misho Ngoveni, the CEO of Geek Culture. I know for sure where he is. He's bubbling. He's like, I can't wait. Brother Sense is taking my time. So, brother man, let's take a quick short break, and then we'll be back, yeah? All right, cool. Peace. Shut.
My name is Mudau Patuchezo. I'm the founder and managing director of the Patuchezo Green Surfacing. That I'm also part of Bembe Biosphere Reserve Youth Network. The Patuchezo Green Surfacing is a startup company which was started in 2019, and it focuses on collecting waste plastics and waste biomass. Currently, we are focusing on making biochar-based energy source, which is a Ashamuliro eco briquettes. The eco briquettes are made from waste biomass, which is a waste sawdust which we collect from the sawmills, and also the wood char and the ashes which we collect from the schools. Our local schools, they use wood fire to prepare meals for our students. So the byproduct is wood char and the ashes. We then process them into useful and valuable material, which is an eco briquettes, Ashamuliro, and also we further process it into an biochar-based fertilizer for soil application. These eco briquettes, they do not produce smoke, they do not produce sparks, they last for almost 3 hours. They are used for cooking and for burning, and you can use them for heating as an alternative source for wood. When you use these eco briquettes, it means that you are supporting the environment, because charcoal briquettes is the mitigation measure for climate change. We are also creating jobs with this initiative, where we have managed to employ 11 youth, where we are capacitating them, giving them skills so that they can be able to replicate this idea into other areas where people are facing the challenges of deforestation. But as we are saying that stop cutting the trees, use the wastes that are available out there. So my message to young people out there is that innovation does not require any degrees. We will have to start small, look at the challenges and come up with the solution. Just like us at the Patu Green Surfacing, you can also become a solution where you live. We also recycle waste plastic which sits on our landfill to process them into useful and valuable products like paving bricks.
As an initiative between Green Matter ZA and the South African Young Water Professionals Network, Imvelisi strives to give entrepreneurs the tools they need to succeed. Imvelisi offers access to bootcamps, workshops, conferences, online communities, cocktail events, and forum meetings, where aspiring entrepreneurs are able to network and gain potential mentors, all while learning the vital skills such as assessing market potential, how to start their business, how to pitch to investors, and how to fully develop their idea into a successful business. Our environmental business guidebooks are wonderful tools to help an aspiring entrepreneur to enter into the world of environmental business and entrepreneurship. We offer a snapshot into the individual subsector of the green economy by showing the entrepreneur just how to get started in the form of a beautifully designed booklet. A handbook to show you the way through South Africa's green economy, the people, the processes, the products, and the support that you can investigate to get you going on your journey to starting a green business in your specialist field. Not forgetting a list of important role players in the unique business ecosystem. This is how we are growing a better South Africa, one entrepreneur at a time. Check out our website on your green economy field. Whether you're in the water business, alien invasive plant beneficiation, bioprospecting, etc. And if we haven't published a booklet in your specialist field yet, sign up for our newsletter and keep your eyes on your inbox for our next publication.
Hey, what's popping, everybody? Welcome to the Circular Economy Hackathon, looking at the webinars and the innovation sprints. Right now, we're still looking at Masterclass, we're looking at design thinking, and of course, business showcasing. And I'm joined now by Mr. Misho Ngobeni, the CEO of Geek Culture. He was actually texting me crazy, saying he's excited to go on. He was like, come on, man, let me speak. Brother Misho, look, man, you have patiently waited. Look, you act like you can't hear me. You can hear me. How are you, sir? You're muted. You're muted.
I am muted. How are you, man?
How are you, sir? I'm good. I'm good. Look, I know for sure, man, you guys are busy, man, especially in this time of the year. Thank you so much for making time, obviously, to be part of the session as we're building up. This is all a build up to the hackathon that's about to happen tomorrow till Sunday, the 1st to the 3rd of December, looking at the Circular Economy Hackathon. Brother man, before you go on, I just want to ask you this question as I've asked everybody, right? What does it mean, like, when you hear about a 30 days business festival? What first goes into your mind when you hear about a 30 days business festival?
It means it's an opportunity for entrepreneurs to learn, connect with each other, hopefully do business with each other. Because I think it's always great. It's also always key that as much as we learn, we apply the learnings and we convert it into some sort of business transaction. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking, that it's a learning opportunity. It's a connecting and networking opportunity, but it's also an opportunity to identify new partners, find new clients, and grow your business.
Mr. Misho, I know for sure. This is between you and me. I know for sure. When I asked Brother Sense this question, you had time to really, write it down and feel like I know Kara was going to ask me this exact same question. Let me come strong. And brother man, you came very strong. Look, first and foremost, thank you so much, Brother Misho. I'm not going to waste your time. I know for sure that obviously, you're busy. I know you got a presentation, or you're going to be telling us obviously about business design thinking and business showcasing. Whenever you're ready, sir.
All right, thanks for that. So my session, thanks, Karawa. So my session will be a little bit short because I think Sense has covered a good part of it. I almost feel like he stole my notes. Especially on the design thinking. So I'm just going to cover the business side of things, things that we need to consider when we are doing business related things. Especially in this case, I'm going to give a bit of context to hackathons. And this is based on some of the things that I've seen at hackathons, but also some of the things that I feel are being missed out on hackathons by participants. One of the things is I think participants are usually so excited to jump into the challenge, so excited to open the technical side, the coding side of things, where else we sometimes don't think about, who are we building this for? How are they going to use it? And I'm glad Sense started with the design thinking, because it's very important to understand a couple of things before you start building. In fact, it's going to save you lots of time. Where you unpack your solution, you realize that you can actually break it into phases. Instead of having to do, one big chunk of a spaceship, you can actually break it down into smaller chunks, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. So some of the key things some of the things that I've seen at hackathons is there's, it's another sad part. There's too many ideas at hackathons die, and I think the reason why they die is people are sometimes maybe narrow-minded, or they're thinking only about the hackathon and not life beyond the hackathon. They're building and coming up with solutions that are maybe addressing the hackathon theme, but they're not thinking about how to continue with that particular challenge. So it's always painful to see a lot of these hackathon ideas and over the weekend, whether you've won or haven't won. I think there's usually potential to take some of these ideas further. And there's lots of avenues that you can actually connect to help you take your ideas further. I've already mentioned the part where a lot of techies jump into the coding and technical side of things. Sometimes it's great to sit back, and also where possible, teams need to assign an individual who's going to take care of the business side of things. Who's going to do a couple of things from a business side, which I'll unpack a little bit. And then again, there's not really a clear business case. You find in most cases the business idea is we're going to use adverts, we're going to use ads, we're going to use ads. So I'm just going to unpack a few elements. I think I've got around about 6 of them, which I feel are key aspects or key elements in terms of when you start thinking about business. Now, I believe these are the things that if I was to relearn things, these are the key things I would have to relearn. They apply to hackathon participants, but I also believe that they apply to anyone considering starting a business, whether it's a technology-based business or any kind of business. These key things are, I really believe, are important. The first one is your target audience. We come up with great ideas in the shower, or driving back to work, wherever we are. We see something and we think, I need to come up with this idea. But I think we need to think about the target audience. Sense touched a little bit on it. So who are we building this particular solution for? So this is a circular economy hackathon. It's bridging the gap, as the theme says, bridging the gap between environmental ideas and feasible solutions. So I love this feasible solutions part because, it's easy to come up with environmental ideas, make life better, save the world and everything else. But we need to think about the feasible side of things. So to make things feasible, you need to think of who are you building for? Who are you designing for? You need to think about where are these people based? So, for example, in South Africa, and I believe a lot of parts of the continent, we are an Android first continent over iOS. Yes, iOS is picking up, but we are more of an Android first continent. So most of the solutions, and if you're doing an app solution, it's a lot easier to maybe jump onto an Android, or you can even make your life a lot easier and create a web app. That way, whatever type of phone that they have, they will be able to access your solution. If it is a web-based solution, is an online-based solution. So those are things to consider. Data, you don't want to be building something that's heavy and people struggle with data. It's a massive issue, where possible, how can they access your content offline? So those are the type of things you need to think about your audience. And also, how do they use their phones? What is the major thing that they use their phones for? Those type of things. So you can actually even make your solution extremely exclusive and say, no, my audience is very niche. They use iPhones. They are more than happy to pay 20 Rand, 50 Rand, 100 Rand a month for an app. And if those are your audience, you need to be very clear. You need to understand that those are your audience, and you need to serve your audience. You also need to understand, do they actually even need what you're building for? Sometimes we think that they need something only to find that they actually don't need that particular solution. They're happy with doing things the way they are doing things currently. In fact, they do not want any form of disturbance. So you need to think about that. And that comes to another point that I'll make later on, which is focusing on research. Where are your users currently based? What are they currently using? How are they currently consuming what they're consuming? And also, where possible, how much are they paying for whatever they currently have? The key thing is our solutions need to address people's problems. For example, I was thinking this other day that, businesses that involve alcohol and food will most likely not run. A person who starts such a business will most likely not run out of business unless if you obviously don't manage things properly, because every day people need to eat. People need bread. People need milk. People need their meat. Chicken was an issue a few years ago. I think a few months ago, chicken and eggs was an issue. And prices were being spiked. We were just like going around looking for eggs. And it shows you that things like food are things that people need. So you need to be just thoughtful of how are people currently doing things? What is it that they currently need? And is this thing that you are providing to them, is it a need or is it a want? Is it making their lives better? And are they actually open to doing that? And one way of understanding if they are open to doing that is by doing research. It's I've seen this also a lot on hackathons. You find that again we jump into building and not doing enough research. So doing research is a little bit more than just Googling. So Googling is a starting point, but you want to do a little bit of research and do competition analysis. Who's doing what are they currently doing? So for example, we do that a lot at Geek Culture, and this is based on understanding. We want to understand who's in the space, who's doing what in which space, in which province, what are they doing, understand as much as possible. So I also believe that if you say there's no competition, then you should be slightly worried. If you say your idea is the first of its kind, there's no competition, it's always a good time to investigate as to why there is no competition. Maybe there's no competition because people don't feel that there's a need for that solution. Maybe there's multiple reasons that can happen, right? But it's very important to investigate as to why you feel there's no competition. So I would say get a little worried if you feel that your solution is no competition. It's okay to say it's innovative, and I think for us we need to understand, what does innovation mean? It simply means there's something already existing, but you do it in a better way. You do it in a simpler way, much more creative way, much more better way. So you take an already existing idea, existing product, existing concept, and you slightly make it better by innovating. So that's one thing that you just need to understand from the innovation. So while I go through the rest of the sections, happy to take questions on the chat. And if anyone has any questions or any comments on the chat, please just drop them through and I'll address them as we go. Now, competition is quite important. So competition for me goes alongside with research. Yes, don't focus too much on your competition, but at least have an understanding of who's in your space. Have an understanding of what is it that they're doing. Have an understanding of how they are doing things. So there's this thing that happens a lot when people create, we are the Uber of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're like Uber, but different. We're like this and that. So always think about your competition. Where possible, do the SWOT analysis. Think about, what are your strong points? What are your weak points? What are your competitors' strong points? What are their weak points? Which opportunities are rising. So it's possible someone is better than you because they have better resources, but you might have a stronger advantage by being able to deliver faster. You might have a strong advantage by being able to do things on the ground faster. You might have a stronger advantage by, you don't have too many policies and too many people that need to approve things. It means you move a lot faster than someone who might be bigger. So think about those things when it comes to your competition. Understand who they are. I love looking at competition. I think I spend time at least once a week. I look at our competition or competitors as Geek Culture. There's so many of them that I actually admire. There were times some of them would give me sleepless nights, because I was just like, whatever they're doing is just too amazing. I really respect it, and I feel it's proper competition. So always look out there in terms of who's your competition. And from a hackathon perspective, you don't have to mix your competitors. So there's obviously going to be a well-established company. There's going to be the smaller guy coming up. There's going to be possibly the team in the same room as you. They're your competition. So always think about, how do you become or how do you provide something better than that competitor? How do you have an edge over them? So for me, I always try to figure out how to have an edge of competition. How do I do something different from what they're doing? At the end of the day, all this stuff should not just be to beat your competition, but to deliver the best service to your potential client. And talking about clients, we'll touch base about that. But some people build solutions and they feel these solutions, especially with this hackathon, and this is almost a for good hackathon. It's meant to make people's lives better, right? And some people like, no, I'm just making people's life better. Even if you're making people's life better, you need to consider about the costs. We'll touch a little bit about that later. So yes, do competition analysis, understand where your competition are based, understand where their strong point is, understand your strong point, and when you come up with your solution, know what you are providing and what's that advantage that your solution has. So that will always give you the upper hand. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is partnerships. I'm a big fan of partnerships and collaboration. Okay, maybe let me address this question. If our solution has a physical side of it, can we request the hardware from the check and provide detailed design? All right, we'll address that, Bulelani. We'll touch on your solution later on. Your question. So when it comes to partnerships, as I was mentioned, I'm a big fan of partnerships. I'm a big fan of collaboration because what that does, it allows you to share resources. It allows you to have access to things that you might not actually have access to. So you might find a partner is someone who has a venue, right? By partnering with them, it means your cost of acquiring a venue go down, right? If a partner partners with you, it means they give you access to their networks as well. So when you think about building your solutions, think about your potential partners, but also do not give a very holistic thing like we're going to partner with the government. The government is very broad. You need to ideally identify which department within the government, which sector within the government are you intending on partnering with. You can't say we're going to partner with tech companies. Tech companies focus on cybersecurity. They focus on data analytics. Identify and be very clear on who your your partner is that you ideally intend on partnering with. It helps also to know where is your partner going, the direction that they're going, so you understand. You might say you're going to partner with Kaizer Chiefs, only to find that, there's nothing you'll gain from a Kaizer Chiefs. Maybe it's money that they have to give you. But yeah, I think the least to talk about Kaizer Chiefs, that was a horrible example because my poor team is struggling, so it pains me. But you need to be sure about who you're partnering with and what resources are you exchanging. So I believe a lot on collaboration and partnership is not just one directional. You need to be able to know what is it that you bring to that particular partner. So if you go to the Department of Education, for example, they have a certain mandate, they have a certain goal that they need to achieve. How do you, by partnering with them, help them achieve that mandate? They are able to then provide resources because at the end of the day, it helps them achieve that particular mandate. So if, for example, their mandate is to establish digital labs in 10 schools, and you come and say you want to partner with them to establish swimming pools in 20 schools, you see the partnership is not aligned with what they're doing. So it'll be very difficult for them to do that. So yeah, partnerships, collaborations are very key. And you do not need to be partnering only with big companies. There's a lot of smaller companies, individuals as well, freelancers who have the resources. So you might find a photographer, for example, is someone you could partner with, right? Who could document where your things are going, who could document your journey, right? In exchange for that, they might just want you to push out their content. And by you pushing out their content, you get to expose them to new clients, right? And that's another way of partnering. So when you work on your solutions, identify potential partners, identify people that you could potentially collaborate with, and see how are you adding value to them, but also think about how will they potentially add value to you as well. So sometimes, yeah, there's lots of reasons why you could partner. Just be clear as to why. At least have 2 to 3 reasons as why they are the best partner. And sometimes it's also okay to have multiple partners because you won't be able to achieve and receive everything that you want in most cases from one partner. All right. Then the next one, I've talked about partnership. I've talked about competition. I've talked about your target audience, and I've talked about researching. So one of the things about researching, which I forgot to mention this, is I challenge any one of you guys who's taking part in the hackathon to actually engage with your potential users. Um, so, for example, Bulelani is asking about, you know, hardware side. So, if you're building something hardware, it's always a great idea to go to the streets, to go to where your customers are, where your users are, to make them test your solution, give you feedback. In most cases, a lot of us sit in a hackathon space. We do not make any calls. We do not interact with anyone online. We do not go out to the streets and ask people. And we just build things with what we think is right. Where else, once you've identified your customers, you know where your customers are. You are able to go to them. You're able to reach them out. There's something called Launch Rock. I'll type it on the chat. It can help you do those customer research, where you are able to, you know, you can even create a landing page. So one thing I would obviously challenge everyone is, think about how are you acquiring customers, or potential customers or potential users before the hackathon ends. So I always put a challenge to people at hackathons that try to get 20 users, 20 customers, or 20 people that are saying, I am interested in this solution. You know, by that, you already have a user base. So what you're doing with that is you are able to take whatever you've built, share it with them so that they give you feedback, right? Feedback is very important in business, especially when you're starting off, and especially when you have something that you're building for other people. You want a beta test group that you can share something with. They test and they give you feedback, and you're able to make changes to whatever you've presented. So please, by all means, do not just sit in one room throughout the weekend with your 3 to 2 to 5 team members. Go out there, do research, interact with people that you're building for. You can even create, now we've got multiple channels. You know, you can even do a TikTok, you can do an Instagram, a Facebook, whatever it might be, right? And get feedback. Ask people questions. You can even write a poll. What color do you prefer, red or blue? Do you prefer something to be delivered to you in this way or in that way? You know, people will give you feedback, and then you collect data, which is my next thing I want to talk about. Data is definitely king, even in business. You cannot ignore data. Data helps you understand where things are going. Data helps you understand where your business is going. So beyond seeing money come in and money come out, data also helps. So for example, if you get to see how many signups do you have. So for me, for example, with Geek Culture, there's a couple of things that I do on a weekly basis to see the growth of the geek culture community, to see where is it going. So you need to understand, you know, there was a time one particular organization was building something online. They put out ads and advertise what they were doing, right? What they found out is their ads were actually, or whatever they were offering, had a bigger interest in Asia than actually in South Africa, where their target market was. That's a good thing and that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing because it means you are reaching the wrong audience. It's a good thing because it means maybe there's a new market and opportunity for you, right? So those are things that you need to be conscious of when you do when you play around with data, when you do advertising as well. Don't just put up ads and then hope that, oh, okay, I'm seeing 10 people have signed, I'm seeing 10 people have liked my post. I mean, you guys can try this with social media accounts. Most of us don't do it, but I love data quite a lot. So I'll go inside a single post and I'd like to understand, where did this post reach? How many people actually opened? How many people have been converted and have actually checked my profile? or they've checked the geek culture profile, or they checked whatever organization profile, how many people clicked on the link. Those things help you quite a lot. It's data that you get. It's data that we get to play around with. So data is very important within your business. Where possible, implement as much as possible from the onset. So, for example, with this particular hackathon coming in, part of your data is creating maybe a landing page or a form, understanding and putting up maybe on social media, sharing it, and then tracking who's opening this data, where are they opening this link from, are they capturing information, how many people did that get signed up, maybe it has an age barrier, right? So you get to see those numbers tell you something, and they can help you steer your business in one direction. And sometimes they can actually tell you that things are about to become bad. But because we don't see the data, we tend to make mistakes, where else we could avoid those data. Another thing with data with this particular hackathon, there's talking to people, right? Which is great. There's hearing how many people are interested. That's already another data set that you can play around with. How many people are interested? And then there's a conversion element, right? Out of those people that are interested, how many have signed up showing interest? So it's possible that, 10 people will tell, yeah, I'm interested. This is really cool. But none of them fill in their details. And when it comes to filling the details in this time that we live in, you don't even need a lot. You just need an email, and some basic other details, enough, not too much. Also, when you do data capturing, you don't want to put up this huge form, because people will start filling and then they'll stop and you lose them. Very quick, enough details, enough questions or inputs, and then you leave it there, right? By capturing that, you already have a database. It means when you need to launch, you don't need to do, yes, you still need to do advertising when you launch, but you already have a user base. So it's very important for you guys to understand that you need to start building a user base as soon as possible, a user base, a client base, a customer base as soon as possible. 5 customers, potential customers, are better than no customers at all. 5 signed up customers are better than no customers at all. So then you move to the next level where possible. If you can get someone to make a transaction, right? 10 Rand, 5 Rand, that is already a win, because it means there's someone out there who believes in the concept and who's willing to pay for it. So I use 10 Rand and 5 Rand as a simple example, but maybe they can commit to whatever amount it is, right? There are people that once you package your solution, they're able to see what it does. And then the last one is distribution channel. So when it comes to distribution channel, I know most people struggle with acquiring users, acquiring customers. I think it's also very important to understand the distinction between the two. So your users are people that will use whatever you build. They might not necessarily pay for it. So take Facebook, for example. Us who are on Facebook and all these other platforms, the fact that we are using those things makes us the users. We don't necessarily have to pay much for it, right? Or anything. The moment you start paying to get verified for advertising, that's when you become a customer. So think about how does your solution have those two distinctions? Maybe you are building something that purifies water for a particular village, right? And it's meant to help people there. But the users are the people that stay in that village, in that township, in that urban area. The customer is your municipality, is your companies that will pay for that particular service. So think about those things in terms of how are you going to create those distribution channels. Distribution channel also comes with marketing. So I think we live in a very exciting time where marketing is no longer traditional and it's just strictly radio and TV and newspaper. You can create, there's this particular guy who does car towing. Wherever he goes, whenever he finds a client, he captures the video, he creates content for it, and then he markets it, right? And also, distribution channels do not have to happen after you've launched. They can happen before you launch. You can create a following base before you launch, so that once the things are ready, they are already on board. It makes you, even the cost of marketing, the cost of advertising, to be a lot less, and then having to start completely from scratch. So I've seen a lot of techies have great ideas. They build these amazing solutions, but they don't know how to get into people's hands. The reason for that is we have not established how are we going to distribute the information. We wait for our solutions to be super perfect. We do not have a customer, a user base, or even a following from the onset. We wait for a lot to have things that are perfect, and that doesn't always work well. So where possible, the last element is for me is pricing and and estimations of your costing. Where possible, try to not make adverts as your main resource. Adverts, for them to really work, you need a huge user base. You need lots of clicks, lots of this and that. It's not a completely sustainable business, right? So think about a very strong business element. What is it that you're offering? How much do you think people are willing to pay? Again, it goes into research. So sometimes another way of research is you could I'll take, let's just say, a web development company that has a quote. You can go into their website and request for a quote. They'll give you a quote. That giving you a benchmark of how much people in that space are actually costing. If you're in the mechanic side, you can go to a BM, whatever car manufacturing or distributor. They'll give you a code for certain things, and you can start benchmarking in terms of how much you should be costing. So I think those are just ways of how you play around with costing. You test. Sometimes, most of the times, you won't get it right from the onset. Sometimes you'll charge very little and you'll chase people away. Sometimes you'll charge very little and they're like, okay, this is a bargain. But sometimes when it's too little, they start doubting. So for example, if web development, you say you're doing a website for 200, right? Where else people are charging 2,000. They're like, yeah, something is wrong here, So you need to be close enough, maybe not too much, but the more you gain experience, the more you can even increase your costing. So that's another thing that you can learn from a business is play around with the costing. Do not worry about having fixed amounts. Do not worry about getting it right in the first time. Play around with a different type of costing. So I'll just pause there and wrap it up here. If there are any questions, I think I'll take questions now. But maybe let me address Pulelani's question. If our solution has a physical side of it, can we request the hardware for the project if we provide a detailed design? So, Bulelani, it's with this particular hackathon, we in hackathon sometimes we do provide resources, but I'd advise that if possible, please come with your resources because time is a bit out of our sight, and it would be a bit difficult to provide you with hardware equipment. I'm guessing you probably are thinking electronics, if I'm correct. I think it might be a bit of a challenge to do that. So where possible, please come up with your own resources, or otherwise come up with creative ways on how to do your prototype. I hope that answers your question. And that's, thank you for your time, and I'll just wrap it up here.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, thank you so much, brother. Man. Yeah, you got to drink that water, man. You got to drink. Thank you so much, brother Mitchell, man. That was amazing, sir. How did that go for you, first and foremost?
No, it was good.
It
was. I mean, so for me, this is what I think. I took elements from the business module canvas. I forgot to actually mention one thing. With the hackathon, we will be using the Sonke platform. And then with the Sonke platform, there is a segment which you can use to do competition analysis. So for example, if you're doing a particular solution, you can check if there's already startups. So we've created a database of around 200 startups across the country that you can do comparison with. to see if there's someone else who's doing more or less the same thing. There's also a lean canvas that you can use to help you understand. So for those who are not aware about lean canvas, business model canvas, for me, the best way of explaining it is it's a simplified version of a business plan. Instead of doing 20 pages of a business plan, you do your business thinking, questioning, because I feel the biggest thing it does is it helps you question a lot about where your business is standing and how that works. So it will, that platform ideally will be used and people will have access to it. So Pashlean, the best way to access it is through the hackathon. Everybody will be onboarded. We just need to verify that part. But the way we usually do it is hackathon participants get onboarded to the hackathon, to the Sonke platform, and then they have access to this particular tools that I'm talking about that can help you, do a little bit more research. But yeah, to answer your question, Karabo, it was great. I think I approached it from a sense of these are the things that I feel are very key to anyone looking into working on a hackathon, but anyone who's thinking of working on a business. Let's not overcomplicate things. Let's think about the easy things. I think one thing one guy said to me is, you don't have to complicate business. You need to find users, you need to find customers, you need to charge them, and then you have a business. And then one thing I forgot to mention is those who are doing social impact solutions, who says, no, my business is an NGO, and so it does not need to make money. Yes, sure, it's not for profit. That's pretty cool. That's fine. But you need to be sustainable. And being sustainable is cost money. It's not just about your kind heart and whatnot. You need resources to be sustainable. So think about creative ways of who are you going to, I think, let's not be scared of charging. Who are you going to charge? How much are you going to charge? So that your business, your NGO can still be sustainable as well.
All right, Brother Misha, thank you so much, sir, for this session. Really do appreciate your time. And obviously, tomorrow will be the official kickoff, which will be happening virtually. Obviously, the link will be online. But Brother Misha, thank you so much, sir. Have an amazing rest of the day, yeah?
Awesome. No, thanks. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
All right. Woo! Okay, man, this is the Circular Economy Hackathon. This is the webinar looking at the innovation sprint, the build up to what's about to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the official opening ceremony happening at 5 p.m. And obviously on Saturday and Sunday, it will be a physical venue where we'll be having it at Saibono in Newtown, the corner of Miriam Makeba and Helen Joseph. So obviously the venue is Saibono in Newtown, the corner of Miriam Makeba and Helen Joseph. And this is about to be an amazing hackathon. We got amazing sponsors, man, that are actually part of this hackathon. Obviously, Geek Culture being one of those sponsors. So let's go out with a bang. Let's have fun. This obviously, we are finishing the year strong, and obviously, man, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna kill it, and it'll be amazing just to see all of the participants just really coming into the space. So please do make sure you guys register, right? If you haven't registered, you should have time to do it now. Please do register. You can go on our social media platforms and just see the link. I'm seeing there's some questions coming. All right, so we have another workshop tomorrow. Thank you so much, Kondilam Temple. We have another workshop tomorrow happening at 3 p.m. tomorrow before the official kickoff at 5 p.m. So another session happening tomorrow, another masterclass where we'll just be preparing before the build-up. We're looking into the build-up of the official launch of the hackathon happening tomorrow. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow and have an amazing rest of the evening from the rest of the team of the Startup Festival. We love you so much, and yeah. Peace.